If you don't know where you are going, any road will get you there. Welcome to O Tech Talks podcast. Your host Kashif Manzoor is with you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening based on your time zone. I'm so excited and thank you so much for being on the show. You're a very regular listener. Thank you so much for sharing your feedback. I'm very happy that you started interacting. You're sharing your feedback, comments. Very good. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful and blessed life.
Welcome to the OTech Talks podcast, where it's all about working on technologies. You will hear the latest tech information, and your host, Kashif Manzoor, brings together product overviews, how-tos, best practices, tips and tricks, and troubleshooting techniques.
Today, our session number is 85, and this is the third session of the series which we have started on the essentials of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, the basics, fundamentals, which the idea was to, if you're driving or going for gym or walk, so you can refresh with the basic concepts. Still now we have covered two sessions on the essentials of OCI, and this is the third session on the OCI which we are gonna cover today. And in the first and second session, the first session were the very fundamentals, and then second session we spoke on the different gateways, NAT gateways, service gateways, and all that. And today we will be talking about on our third session, which is basically what are the default components that comes with your VCN, or so that's we're going to cover. And let's get, and these are the basics which we spoke even on the like security tables, root roles, and all that one, and DHCP options. So in your VCN, automatically comes with these three default components. It comes with the default security root table with no root roles defined. Then it comes default security list with default security list rules, and then it also comes with set of DHCP options with default values. You can't delete these default components. However, you can change their contents. For example, the rules in the default security list, and you can create your own custom versions of each kind of components in your VCN. And each subnet always has three components associated with it. One root table, one or more security lists for them, and one set of DHCP options. That's gonna have each and every subnets. Security lists are one way to control traffic, basically in and out of the VCN's resources. And you can also have network security groups, which let you apply a set of security rules to set of resources that all have the same security postures. And we will go in a more detail with that one. So let's start from the root tables. What are the root tables? One of the default components coming within a virtual cloud network. So your VCN uses the virtual route tables to send the traffic out of the VCN, for example, to the internet, to your on-premise network, or to the peered VCN. Right? These are three basically destinations. Either it goes to the on-premise, to my office, to your office network, or it goes to the internet, or it goes to another VCN, peered VCN. Now, these virtual route tables have rules that look and act like traditional network route rules. You might already be familiar, or you must be doing it when you are doing in your on-premise. Each rule specifies a destination, decider block, and the target, the next hop for any traffic that matches that decider. So the basics of routing tables, or the route tables, or there are five basics like points we can cover. The primary routing scenario is for sending a subnet's traffic to destination outside the VCN. A subnet has a single route table of your choice associated with it. All VNets in that subnets are subject to the rules in the route table. The rules govern how the traffic leaving the subnet. That's important. Traffic within the VCN is automatically handled by the VCN local routing. No root roles are required to enable the traffic. And generally for any root table that belongs to given VCN, you can't create a root role that lists that VCN CIDR or subsection as the rules destination. Oracle uses a subnet's root table only if the destination IP address is not within the VCN's CIDR block. If a root table has overlapping rules, Oracle uses the most specific rule in the table to route the traffic, that is the rule with the longest prefix match. If there is a root table has overlapping, if there's no root rule that matches the network traffic you intend to route outside the VCN, the traffic is dropped or backload. And IPv6 addressing and routing is currently supported in the government clouds, US government clouds. Now, each VCN automatically comes with the default route table that has no rules. If you don't specify, every subnet uses the VCN's default route table. But when you add route rules to your VCN, you can simply add them to the default table if that suits your needs, or otherwise you can create your own route tables. Now, that one. Each subnet in a VCN uses a single route table. When you created the subnet, you specify which one to use. You can change which route table that subnet uses at any given time. And you can also optionally assign a descriptive name to the custom route table during creation. It doesn't have to be unique, and you can change it later. Oracle automatically assigns the route table a unique identifier called Oracle Cloud ID, which we already discussed, OSID. And the route table basically destination, CIDR block, and target for next traffic, and it defines or explain it, that how it's gonna work on it. And you can't delete a particular resource if it's the target in a route table. For example, you can't delete an internet gateway that has a traffic routed to it. So you must first delete all the rules in all the route tables with that internet gateway as a target, and then you will be able to delete the internet gateway. And when you want to add route to the route table, what you do is you will basically provide the destination CIDR block and a target compartment where the target resides. If the target is a service gateway, instead of a destination CIDR block, you specify the Oracle Cloud provider string that represents the public endpoints of that service, which you are gonna add access to that one. So that's how you will creating the route rules on the route traffic to send in and out, to monitor it, to put the rules on it. Then the second component, the default component, is the security rules. The networking service offers two virtual firewall features, and that comes with like a security rules to control the traffic at the packet level. And these features are security lists, the original virtual firewall features from the networking service, and then the network security groups, NSGs. A subsequent feature designed for application components that have different security postures. And these two features offer different ways to apply security rules to set of virtual cloud network cards, VNets, in the virtual cloud network. Now, we can have a comparison, but first I think let's go to the security rules, and that comes with the security lists that I need to create the security list. Now, these security lists act as a virtual firewall for your compute instances and other kinds of resources. Security list consists of a set of ingress and egress security rules that apply to all the VNets in any subnet that the security list is associated with it. The third default value of VCN, which comes as a default component, is DHCP options. So let's go through the details of DHCP options. First of all, it's a dynamic host configuration protocol, DHCP. That's part of the default component in virtual cloud network. The networking service uses a DHCP to automatically provide configuration information to instances when they boot up. So usually some settings can be dynamically changed, but others static, and you cannot change them over the course of the instances and the VCN. Now, take an example that when you launch an instance, a compute instance for your eBusiness Suite or for any other Java application or web application, right? So either you or Oracle, when they're going to, what they're going to do, the instance is private access, IP addresses. So you need to be specifying, right? So most probably you will be setting up your instance. So then you will be assigning the private IP address. Each time the instance boots up or you restart the instance DHCP client, DHCP passes that same private IP address to the instance. The address never changed during the instance lifetime. So that's clear. Now, the networking service provides dynamic host configuration protocol, which is DHCP options, to let you control certain types of configuration on the instances in your VCN. For example, if you want to change the value of at your discretion, not like a static information which DHCP provides the instances, and when you want to change these one, then once you take effect, when you will basically restart the given or the specific instance DHCP client or reboot the instances. Now let's see, each sub-instance can have a single set of DHCP options associated with it. That set of options applies for all the instances in the subnet. Each VCN comes with the default set of DHCP options with initial values that you can change. And if you don't specify, every subnet uses the VCN's default set of DHCP options. And that's what we were talking earlier, that certain comes with you cannot change, and certain things, the values, you can change it. Take an example. Let's see the DHCP options. What are the DHCP options? For example, domain name server and its DNS type. So possible values you can change, or you can select is internet and VCN resolver or a custom resolver. Now, when the VCN is created, then it comes with initial values with the default DHCP options. So the default is DNS type, which comes like internet and VCN resolver. However, you want to change it to custom resolver, you can do that one. And if you set up DNS type custom resolver, you can specify up to 3 DNS servers of your choice. And we will go in the next hour, I think, sessions on that one. Then you can have another option, which is search domain, a single search domain. And if you set up your VCN with a DNS label, the default value for search domain option is VCN domain name .oracle, your VCN DNS label .oraclevcn.com. Otherwise, the search domain option is not present in the default set of DHCP options. So you can also do that one. So if you want to do that one. And now, when you create a subnet, you specify which set of DHCP options to associate with the internet or with the subnet. If you don't, the default set of DHCP options of the VCN is used. When you want to create a new set of DHCP options, you may optionally assign it a friendly name. For example, or it don't need to be unique, but you can change it later. However, Oracle, when you will be creating it, Oracle will be assigning the OSID. If you remember in our first session where we talk about on the OSID, Oracle Cloud Identifier, which is resource identifier. That's how you can do that one. Now, whenever you change the values of one of the DHCP options, you must do one of the following. For example, to change effect. And as the following mean, I'm going to say that I'm going to discuss with that one. That if you want to take effect to those values, you need to do either restart the DHCP client on the instance or reboot the instance. And when you want to restart the DHCP client running, If you stop the DHCP client manually or disable network manager, which stop the DHCP client in Linux instances, the instance can't renew its DHCP lease and will become inaccessible when the lease expires, typically within 24 hours. So do not disable network manager unless you use another method to ensure renewal of the lease. Stopping sometime the DHCP client even remove the host root table when the lease expires, or maybe loss of network connectivity to your iSCSI connections could result into loss of boot drive. So there are a number of things you can keep in mind when you will be doing either restarting it or now to change it to the configure settings. So you need to go to core infrastructure and then hamburger sign, go to networking. In your virtual cloud network, you will select the virtual cloud network, and then you will go and on the left side under resources, and where you will find the DHCP options for you to set it up or configure it.
Thanks for listening to the O Tech Talks podcast, and be part of Tech Talks at otechtalks.tv. It's a turf to share ideas, insights, and innovations.